But to get back to my point though, my girl and her friends was like, "Hey, why ain't you just go to Best Buy?" And I feel that's what some console gamers too, that you have to, that they think that if you go to Best Buy or Dell, you get good quality shit. That's that's not at all true. You're not gonna get a good, very good quality computer at Best Buy or Dell.
Well, see, my
They
entire
might.
thing was I went to Best Buy,
Oh, go ahead, go
and
ahead.
I brought my PC at Best Buy, but I also kept building from that. I brought a GTX 1080 to put it in there. That's why if you read the description of my videos, it says I have a 970 because that's what it came stock with, was a GTX 970 with 8 gigs of RAM. I put 24 gigs of RAM, put a GTX 1080 in there. It came with its own mouse and keyboard for about $1,000, which wasn't bad for a 970 and 8 gigs RAM.
No, it wasn't. That's pretty good.
And it came with 1 terabyte internal hard drive. It came with a 240 gigabyte SSD, and I built upon that. It came with the LEDs that were already in it, the blue fan lights, and everything else. So it was basically, it was what I wanted. But I knew right there then that I could build upon that, so I took it apart, put things together, and built it better.
And you never had to change the case to that?
Nope, it's the case that came in.
That's pretty good.
Yep. Now our live stream has disconnected on us, unfortunately, so I had to start recording the video in a different way. Just so you know.
I'm sorry, you never finished your sentence. You said you had to record on a different, and then after that, just stop talking.
Yeah, our live stream got disconnected, so I had to record the video in an entirely different way.
Oh, okay. Cool. Cool.
So part of it will be a live stream for the first half, and the second part will be uploaded video in 4K.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, see, 4K
Um,
content's quite easy to do. All you have to do is just get into your shadow play and enable the quality that you want to record your videos at, and it will easily record your videos at 4K, even with your 1070.
no, I think I one need to put a fresh Windows in my computer because it's just oh shit. I
See, that's
think I need to put a new Windows in mine because after a certain while, motherfucker, Shadow Play will just stop working on my damn computer.
well, see,
So
then
I
you
need
need
to
to uninstall it and re-download Shadowplay. When I first put my GTX 1080 in there, I had to basically pull off the drivers and everything by hand because my Shadow, the NVIDIA GeForce program wasn't working correctly. So I pulled off all the drivers and everything from GeForce.com personally and installed the card myself.
yeah,
And
I've done that twice, and I still have. I mean, I hopefully it doesn't do it again, but it's twice I have done that.
on Shadowplay, make sure you also enter the Shadowplay beta too, because the Shadowplay beta is
Hello,
actually really
are you still
good.
there? Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, make sure you enter the Shadowplay beta too, because the beta for Shadowplay is really good.
Well, I will check that out. I will check that out.
Because you can basically go into your GeForce settings on your PC, and then you go into your settings, and it'll have an option for you entering the beta. And the beta allows you when you do live streams and stuff to type in what you are calling your streams before you send them out to Twitch and YouTube and stuff.
Hmm. Okay. Let me see my any beta.
It has a lot of useful functions that are just quite amazing, actually.
Hmm. Excuse me. Oh yeah. One topic I would like to discuss is about. I really love how nowadays that there's people that's getting together. I'm not sure they're from college or whatnot, but they are really making some good content nowadays. Like there's one person that was remaking Shamu. I didn't even know the person was making remaking Shamu, but the people that's making Shamu 3 had came out like, hey, we see that you're a really good programmer. We want you on our team. Now your man got a full job. I really wish Nintendo would stop making copyrights and stop shutting people projects down and just hire these people. Because if Nintendo really look at these projects that's going down, like these are some really good ideas and people really want them. If Nintendo want the money, hey, make those people make these games for Nintendo and charge people for it. Give me a second, 'cause I know there's a game I have that's been shut down. Do, do, do.
Inconceivable because Nintendo isn't going to stop putting out their copyright claims because they want to protect their intellectual properties the best way they know how. Because
But
back in
wouldn't it be
the
smart? But wouldn't it be smart for them to take these people and make their projects their own though?
It would be, but Nintendo not going to do that. Back in the early 90s, back when Nintendo dominated the video game industry, they tried to sue Blockbuster Video for renting their games.
What?
You didn't know that?
No, I never knew that.
Yeah, they tried to sue Blockbuster Video back when Blockbuster Video was a huge billion-dollar corporation. They tried to sue them for renting their games, and the only thing Nintendo could sue them for was recopying their instruction manuals to their games because Blockbuster would make photocopies of instruction manuals and put them out in the games they rented instead of the original copy. So Nintendo filed a copyright claim against their intellectual property of the instruction guide.
I mean, on I can't really be on Nintendo side for that. That's really petty. But from my understanding, these rentals companies take a large sum of money to buy these games, so the company got that money for that game.
A lot of rental stores would just go to like Toys R Us and Walmart and buy a lot of games that way.
Hey, you might want to check your mic because certain things you will say, it just your mic will just completely cut out.
Well, back in the day, those corporations that would rent those games, like Blockbuster and so forth, they would
Hmm.
basically go to like Walmart and Toys R Us and shit, and they would buy games that way and rent them out instead of buying them from the manufacturers and the corporations. That's
But even
how
if
they
they
were able
did
to rent
that,
them out so cheaply.
oh, so nowadays the company got a direct, I mean, will give people sales for buying in bulk now.
Well, it was mainly about them protecting themselves, the corporation, the video game corporations back in the day. Sega was the only company to actually come out and make a partnership with Blockbuster. Sega had the right
Oh,
idea. Nintendo was greedy.
see, I really wish that Nintendo get a better person. I mean, get a better person that will look at the bigger picture here. I know Reggie from Nintendo that's in America has some bright ideas, but most of the complaints I be hearing is from the people in Japan of Nintendo.
Well, see, in Japan, they're a household name because they're easy, affordable, compact systems that are made for families.
Hmm.
And in Japan, it's common for families to live together in massive houses.
Goddamn thirsty. I'm listening.
You know what I mean? I mean, it's so common for families to live in massive houses in Japan that the idea of what Nintendo does is perfect for them,
Mm.
but
So I'm
perfect
guessing
for.
they just get really pissed off at people in America.
Well, their sales haven't been good over here since the late 90s. They're not a dominant force over here like they used to be. That's reserved for companies like Sony and Microsoft, but really, only reason why Sony and Microsoft have their fame to claim is the whole online scene, the whole that Microsoft was the first to come out with online play for a console.
I thought that wasn't used to have online, but wasn't that big though.
What?
Dreamcast used to have online.
Yes, but Dreamcast problem was it came out at the time of dial-up, and you had to have a special adapter for it.
So that's why I could never get online. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, you had to have a special Dreamcast adapter to hook you up to their Dreamcast servers and shit to actually do it. It's like with the original PlayStation 2, you had to have a special box hooked onto the back of your PlayStation 2 to go on Sony's network.
So that's why everybody keeps saying that Xbox was the original person to fully able to get online. Then I understand.
Yeah, because the original Xbox, it was so simple to get online with it. It was hilarious.
Hmm.
I used to play the original Halo 2 at a friend's house when I was 16 online with other people.
Hmm.
And that shit was just, it was fun. You know what I mean? It was just fun.
Yeah. What I wanted to say.
But the problem is nowadays, though, people are letting these companies basically rape them, like I said before. And they're not calling out bullshit. The fanboys are ruining the industry.
You were never lying on that, bro. You was never lying on that.
It, it's a,
It, and
it's
I'm
like
really getting tired of seeing these people being loyal to one company. When you be loyal to one company, you really miss out on a lot of good games from Sony and Microsoft.
well, see, there's nothing wrong with being loyal, but the problem is with loyalty to a company is that the simple fact is that if you're loyal to that company, you're basically giving the company a free pass to fuck you in the ass.
Excuse me.
And people
You're
should be loyal to the games, not the companies.
right. I agree with you there, bro.
And that's where PC comes in because technically, if you're not an AMD or NVIDIA fanboy, you're basically free to be a gamer.
That is true. Um, but why I say loyalty, that probably is a different word I should have used. Is like when you
Fanboy.
go on face fanboy, thank you. When you go on Facebook or Twitter and you just see these people like, yeah, fuck these ponies, man, Microsoft doing it real big. It's like, dog, really?
See,
Like
see,
that shit ain't gangster, man. That shit ain't gangster in the hood, my nigga.
I used to do that same shit on my channel a long time ago. I used to get on there. I used to like say, "What's good, gamers?" My hand used to be the gamer of games. I used to go on there. I used to go, "What's good, gamers? This is the gamer of games. I will be crushing ponies in the ground today, and I will be stomping out their hoofs to make a magical unicorn disappear."
Hey, you stupid.
But it was about entertainment for me. See what I'm saying?
Uh,
I was trying to be entertaining. And before my injury, I didn't have much time to do YouTube. I actually gave up on YouTube, to be honest with you, because I just got promoted full time on my job, and I was basically working 6 days a week, 12-hour shifts, because I work for a newspaper company, right?
yes, sir.
And this newspaper company I was working for, I would make the papers, put the ads in them, put them in cars for people, for the drivers to go out and deliver them. And then I had to learn how to drive fork trucks, power jacks, and then I was entrusted with the company vehicles, and I had to go out in company vehicles and deliver papers that there were no drivers for.
Mm.
So my job was pretty much fully demanding, and I didn't have time for YouTube. So my videos that I released were like here, there, rants about stuff that I was pissed off about that I couldn't take no more. I would never have expected any kind of fame on YouTube at all for that reason.
Hmm.
But since my injury, I've had time to sit down since I can get around now. Because at first I couldn't get out of bed for like 2 months. I couldn't get out of bed on my own power. And now since I can get out of bed and everything, and I've been doing these videos and actually connecting with the gaming community through YouTube and talking to them, it feels pretty good. Because apparently a lot of gamers on YouTube that are PC gamers own multiple systems. They own a PC, they own a PS4, they own an Xbox One, but the majority of them that just build a PC that own these things don't really play on their PS4 no more or the Xbox One. but they still have them for their kids.
Sorry, I had my mic off. Damn it.
See,
Um,
see, I turn my
after
mic off when you talk, so it won't echo.
yeah, after getting technic, I like to say the word rate because after you get a whole bunch of money, you spend a whole bunch of money on a console, and then you're unable to play your games no more. I like to use the word fuck because I basically was fucked with no lube. After being fucked by Sony and Microsoft, man, fuck that shit. I ain't owning no more fucking consoles, man. That's way too much control. You can say, hey, you do this, you can't be on the console no more. I mean, I could always get a new fucking profile, but dog, I just spent leak. I had the console since 2008 to 2014, so shit. I ain't wasting no more money on that shit no more, dog. That had to be at least like $1,000 I spent on the Xbox and the games, and then Xbox Live.
Over your period as a console gamer, 'cause how many systems have you actually?
Hey, your
How,
mic cut off. What you say?
how many systems have you actually owned as your time as a console gamer?
If we include ever since I was a kid, I say that through Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation 1, 2, and Xbox and Xbox 360. I just stopped right there.
All that money you spent on that shit could have entitled you to a $4,000 beastly PC, and then you don't get to keep your games every generation a new console's built. You gotta buy a whole
Nope.
new set of games, whole new set of remasters, all that shit. That's the only great thing that I realized about PC. I'm playing games on there that are from 2010 that I've been wanting to play for years. I didn't have time to play during that life cycle of that system.
Yep. And I feel bad now because now that I'm an adult, got a job, finally got a computer that I want, it's like, damn, I gotta stay at this job now. Like I'm on Social Security, but I still gotta stay at this job to maintain a lifestyle that I'm now comfortable with.
Yeah, yeah, that's what the younger generation doesn't realize that they got it so good because they can basically just sit there and play games. Mommy, daddy takes care of them. But as an adult gamer, it's really fucking hard because you got to work, you got to pay bills, you got to keep your girl, so forth.
Yeah. And as I said in one of my videos, hey, I love playing video games and whatnot, but the truth is, outside of my own home after work, I'd rather just be at home with my girl.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you.
Um, that's before we had jumped to this subject. I would like to get back to the whole congratulations to these new people that's coming out and making video games that's giving AAA game makers a run for their money. Do you remember a game I showed you on Discard called Daymare 1998?
Yeah, I remember that game. The game looked pretty awesome actually. I think that I still have it on my Discord. Yes, I do.
We need more people like these people, like whoever's making this, to continue to make games to put more pressure on video game makers to
Yes.
come out to make their own content.
Well, see, the whole problem with the industry right now is it's basically bro shooter status right now. That's
And
what
dog, I'm so
sells.
sick of that shit.
But it's what sells for like Activision and shit. And Activision is one of the biggest corporations out there right now, and it's what it makes money. And Capcom tried to follow that with Resident Evil 6, and we all know how Resident Evil 6 turned out.
Other than the Leon part, because I wish that was just his own game. Other than the Leon part, everything else was trash.
It was because the rest of it was basically action adventure type horror. Leon was the only survival,
Hmm. I'm
which is
sorry,
kind
man.
of
I've been
funny.
holding this for a long. Can we put this on pause right quick? I need to run to the bathroom right.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, real quick.
I'll be right quick.
if y'all haven't had a chance to check out Daymare yet, y'all should check this shit out. This shit's pretty tight right here. But y'all get a new look into a fabulous video game that is highly recommended called Daymare.
Hey, I'm back.
I was giving the audience a premiere of Daymare while you was away.
Oh, that's cool. So, I mean, even though if that's the biggest in the market and people won't buy, I mean, publishers won't take them in, with Kickstarter and other ways to put games in the market, we as gamers can support people with hard working that's not with big publishing companies. I mean, I know people don't like what's the word I'm looking for here? Indie games, but shit, Witcher came from was an indie at first. You can't no longer say they indie. They now AAA AAA company.
Well, did you ever check out that Z Smotch?
Z Smarch?
Yeah.
Z Smarch. I think you showed me it before. Could you send me a link to it again?
Well, give me a second. I'm pulling it up now.
Okay.
It's a portable gaming device for PC, basically.
Yeah, is that out already, or are they still in development with that?
Well, it's still uh, on Kickstarter for it.
So I need to put my money down on that now.
Smart Z.
Cause shit, it be plenty of times I be at work like that. I got a little break here. I like to play some fucking games. Shit.
I mean, literally, it's still in Kickstarter status for it, but this device itself is fully amazing, actually. Open up my browser.
Sometimes I'm a little scared of putting my money down on Kickstarter. Kickstarter. Because if you see what number 99, they just took our money and just said, fuck it. Because that shit they put down on there, man, with updated PlayStation
It's
2
basically a very
graphics
compact
and
PC to play games on.
It's a
horrible,
really nice
bro.
concept.
It
Whatever
is
takes
very
the
different.
awesome,
It's
like
it's a good idea.
and Ghastly from Pokemon.
Well, the
I was
whole
amazed that Pokemon didn't try to put a lawsuit there.
well, the whole problem with a lot of these companies, basically, that come out with Kickstarters and everything, they don't fully finish the Kickstarters the way they should because not enough people support them, or the developer behind the Kickstarter tries to make a easy, fast cash grab. But with this, if it's completely done right, I think it would be a good thing for PC gamers because it allows you to basically use Steam on a portable device, and on this portable device, you can take anywhere you want and have your entire Steam library with you.
Yep.
It's basically a very compact PC to play games on.
One
It's a
thing
really
with
nice concept.
number 99, it got over the amount that they requested, and they still, even though they gave us what they promised, it's just that it was just a downgrade for what they showed.
Well, see, that was the whole problem behind that. The developer probably didn't get enough money for his Kickstarter, so he probably had to
Nah, no, they
downgrade.
had a way over money. They had over the amount of money that they asked for. Almost I think they got like 4 million in cash.
Hmm.
I would have to Google it.
I would say they probably got way over than what they needed. Then he probably pocketed a good majority of the money himself. Then that's the only thing I can think of. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But with this whole entire device idea is basically, I think that if it's implemented right, it's going to be a weak system because it's portable. But as long
I
as it
mean, it's
can,
going to be.
what?
Yeah, it's going to be.
Yeah. But as long as it can play PC games at a certain frame rate and you can mess with the settings like you can't on a PC, I'm pretty sure
Hmm.
this will take off pretty well.
So, will this be directly competing with the Shield that's already out, or you can't really count that as a portable device?
Well, I don't count the Shield as anything actually, because the Shield's basically a in-home streaming device that was made to
Yeah.
link up your NVIDIA products. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And it's not portable per se. It's just basically, oh, you can import your Steam library over to the Shield and you can stream that way. With this, you can import your game library from Steam over to it. You don't have to stream nothing. You just automatically have your Steam ID and everything on this device. So technically, this is the definition of truly portable for PC gaming.
Hmm. And I can't wait till that comes out. Shit. I can't really find the Kickstarter to see where, like, to see any thing where they talks about. I see the video that you showed me.
The Kickstarter should be in the description of the video, actually, if you go to the actual YouTube page for it.
So, okay, let me go back to the
You
video.
just click the little YouTube symbol beside the card.
I got. Now you can pre-order in Indiegogo. Oh,
You
it's
know,
an
I mean,
Indiegogo, not it.
I
Okay,
mean,
that's
it's
cool.
it's a wonderful concept, but a lot of PC gamers want power as well as they want portability.
Oh man, if you give me a way to play my fucking games out, because there's a huge difference. Just like I want to compare the power of the Vita versus the PS4, that's just ridiculous. I would compare this handheld to my damn computer. If I could play my games outside of my home, that is wonderful.
But the whole thing for me is that I kind of want the option to be able to choose like 60 frames per second, though, because right now most of the high quality games that you can run on it only run at 30. You know what I mean?
Yep,
And I'd
but
rather have like 60 instead of 30. So that's why I'm talking about power.
I mean, I just think you will be asking a little too much. For I'm not sure how much this device will cost, but I think you will be asking way too much if you want 60 frames per second from this little device.
I probably am, but I always have high hopes for things. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And the only other thing I don't like about it is it's built like a Steam controller. If you see the pads on it,
Oh yeah, I see that.
and I have a Steam controller. I'm not a huge
Oh,
fan.
what you think about it?
I'm not a huge fan of it. The track pads are great, don't get me wrong, but the button placement is entirely wrong with how big the track pads are.
Hmm.
They should have made it to where instead of like two, like, because you have paddles at the bottom of your controller, just like a scuff controller does. Instead of like
Yes.
two paddles, it should have been four.
Hmm. Good point.
And that's the way the button placement wouldn't feel so weird because you would have the regular X, A, B, Y buttons mapped to these bottom paddles, and then you would be able to put both hands on the trackpad and joystick or both trackpads, and you can use all your button combinations along with your triggers with your fingers without having to take your finger off of the aim button to basically use the other buttons.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so tiny and small that you have to know the precise place that you're putting your finger, or you're going to miss and hit the wrong button.
So that happens a lot when you try to use it.
Yeah, other than that, it functions really well for a mouse and keyboard scrub set.
Mm.
I mean, the best controller I used on PC is a $150 Xbox One controller, but we're not going to get into that one.
That's a lot of cash for a controller.
Well, it's the Elite controller. It has the scuff paddles at the bottom of the controller, which makes it fully customizable through the Xbox accessory app on your Windows 10 PC.
Mm-hmm.
And you can change out your joysticks and everything to long, short joysticks. You can give them PlayStation 2 thumbsticks. You can basically program the bottom buttons to be anything you want, and you can hair pull your triggers to when you're playing a shooter, you have a less of a button pull on your triggers, basically.
Oh, okay. Did not know that. I was thinking about getting me one, but shit, I already spent a little too much fucking cash already. Shit.
To be honest with you, the ability that I use this controller for, because I play online shooters on the PC, and I have a very expensive mouse and keyboard setup, very expensive, and I prefer using the Elite controller against mouse and keyboard guys. I mean, I
You
use my
prefer
Elite
to use the
controller.
Elite controller on?
Yeah, I prefer it actually more than my Razer keyboard and my Razer mouse.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like with the controller, you know what I mean, I'm a little slower, but I'm not entirely like destroyed by mouse and keyboard players because I don't have to take my fingers off the joysticks. See what I'm saying?
Yes.
I can keep my fingers on the bottom paddles, and I feel like I still have the same advantage that I would with mouse and keyboard.
Excuse me.
Because I have a one-handed keyboard that I can basically craft any button to a 22 layer key layout, plus have a movable joystick on the side to put my fingers on to move my person, so I don't have to depend on WASD keys. I can actually map those keys to my stick, and I do have all that set up.
So that little one-handed keyboard makes it easier, so you don't have to reach around the keyboard to do this and that. You have everything right there.
Well, that one-handed keyboard specifically makes it so much easier that it's not funny because you can macro a keyboard, basically your regular keyboard. You can macro your regular keyboard to your one-handed keyboard, and you can basically set up like the majority of all games have a certain button combination for that. You can basically set up the button combination that you want through the Razer Synapses app,
Mm-hmm.
and you can basically auto program it to function for every game that you play. So say if there's like 100 games out there and basically all 100 games share the same keyboard and mouse layout with controls, you can automatically set up the one-handed keyboard to function for the majority of games off one profile, and then program it for two other profiles to function a specific way for other games that are just different in a sense.
Okay. Did I know that? That's pretty cool.
But the whole point is though you got to go through and program it.
You say you gotta go through.
You got to go through and program it basically
Oh, okay.
to make it do what you want it to. And then if you're, playing a game with a controller, then you want to switch off the keyboard and mouse and everything. It's a lot easier than what you think it is. It works. You know what I mean? It's there. But like I said, I play my shooters online on PC with the Elite controller because I feel like I have the same advantage with my one-handed keyboard and mouse that I do with my controller
Okay.
because of the back paddles.
Oh shit.
It's the same concept. I don't stop moving around and looking.
Mm-hmm.
which makes it great for me.
Yeah, I might pick up an Elite controller one day. Hopefully, I can pick up one on sale. Or
You
do
know what I
they
mean?
ever go on sale?
Personally, man, if you're a heavy mouse and keyboard user, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you're like me and you prefer to use like a controller and you want to have like the like close to the same advantages of a really good keyboard and mouse, then I would
Mhm.
say yeah, do it. Cause I even got the wireless adapter for the controller for Xbox, and it works really well. The reason why I got the Steam controller is because of the fact that a lot of games that require keyboard and mouse on Steam, you can use the Steam controller for any of those games.
Mhm.
And that's marvelous you can do that. But since I can get up and move around now, I can just use my keyboard and mouse.
Well, for me, even though that I mean, even though the mouse and keyboard is good, I still prefer using a controller because it's hard as fuck for me to continue to navigate with keyboard.
Well, I've learned since I got the keyboard, one-handed keyboard and the mouse I got, I can macro all my keys easier, and it's a lot easier to use than a controller is. Because for a while there, that's all I was using was my one-handed keyboard and my mouse because it was just so much easier.
Yep. Oh shit! I am really effing hungry, but don't feel
But it's just weird though because I prefer using racing games on my Steam controller because they got better trigger pulls
you prefer using racing games. What?
on my Steam controller because they
Okay.
got better trigger pulls.
Mm. For you to boot to go straight forward and back and reverse.
Well, the better trigger pulls on the Steam controller basically are like clicks. You can hear it.
Oh, okay.
And basically, when you use an Xbox controller to drive a car or a racing game, you got to pull like halfway down just to get a little momentum. On a Steam controller, you can just gradually tap the acceleration trigger and your car just flies off.
Oh, that's baller.
Yeah, they got better trigger pulls for race car games and so forth. But getting used to the track pads for shooters and everything else is quite challenging.
I bet it is.
Because the trackpad is basically like a mouse on a laptop, one of those stationary trackpads on a laptop.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Those mouse pads, I mean mouse traps sucked.
Yeah, that's basically
Um,
what it is, and it's kind of like you want to pull your hair out sometimes.
I bet it is.
But it's all good though, because each thing has their own different purpose.
hmm
You know what I mean?
God, I am fucking. Excuse me.
And
Um,
that's what the PC is about. Options.
excuse me. Some people, from what I've seen, and not sure it's okay to bring in anybody's names, so I'm just gonna say, one particular person's video. Some people saying that it's too much options is not it's not good for gamers, which I don't understand because that's peasant talk to me.
Too much options isn't good for gamers, huh?
Yes,
Hmm.
I just believe that's peasant talk.
It's
A lot of
peasant talk,
options.
but the problem with the peasant talk of that caliber is they're brainwashed. You laugh. I'm being serious. They're brainwashed. See, you keep
Good boy.
laughing, but I'm being serious, man. The same corporations I was talking about earlier got people brainwashed, and no one realizes it.
Mhm. Oh.
And this is years of conditioning, my friend. Years of feeding them bullshit. You know what I mean? Like years of feeding like trifling bullshit down their throats for them to like just suck it up like wonton soup coming out of a stripper's ass.
Oh hell no.
That's basically how
Uh,
brainwashed these people are, man. And if you ever ate wonton soup, it tastes like a dude's cum.
well, I wouldn't know all that,
So if you got
but
wonton soup coming out of a stripper's ass, I mean, she had one hell of a time at an orgy. I mean, she must have one hell of a time at an orgy. You know what I'm saying?
yes, sir. What the fuck, man? What do you? I mean, I would like to perfectly. I mean, I would like to state that I don't. Even though I have my beef with Sony and Microsoft, I really wouldn't want to see neither Microsoft, Sony, or Nintendo shut down. But I really wish that gamers would come together like, nah, we really continue to buy into this shit until you improving your company politics, and your hardware before we continue to go down this road with you with another console generation. And
Well,
it's,
well, well, see, that's the funny thing. I don't have a beef with Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo. I mean,
and
I
I'm
don't have
really
a beef
happy
with.
that you don't.
My problem is the fan base. That's my problem.
I care two shits about the fan base because the fan base ain't going to make me stop playing the game. But when they continue to support stupid ass shit, which makes the console, man, we ain't going to change the way we act. I mean, we ain't going to change shit how we run our motherfucking company. Then that's the problem.
Well, see, that's the problem with the fan base. The fan base is out there supporting the garbage. And then these companies are reshelling out the garbage, which makes the companies do it because they see, oh, my loyal fan base or eat my turd sandwich.
Turd sandwich, dude. Hell no.
But it's the truth. It's not the corporation's entire fault. The fan base is what helps them decide, oh, wait, I'm going to release this way because these drones will eat it and deal with it.
Mm-hmm. And what I want to say is, when I bring that up about I have no beef with the causes, excuse me, because I really would like for one day, because when Microsoft and Windows are able to play games with each other, for some reason, Rocket League is able to play games with Xbox and Windows. Rocket League, hey, we would like for all three platforms to play with each other, but Sony would not game with us. I find that to be really fucked up for Sony to hold back gaming that far. And why I say holding back gaming, because everybody could be playing with each other. Keyboard and mouse isn't going to completely dominate in a racing car game when it comes down to Sony and Microsoft. It would be really cool for all of us to play with each other.
Well, see, Microsoft is already taking a step forward. Microsoft's taking a step forward with that concept already. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I'm agreeing with that. But it's
But
Sony that won't play game.
But Sony's afraid to do this because they're afraid that we'll get around this little circle jerk and start playing games together, and then we'll take their people, jack them off to the PC Master Race, and then they'll have no one to jack off themselves. That's what they're scared of. They're scared of losing customers to a free gaming service because basically when you're on PC, all you do is pay for your internet provider. You don't pay Steam, you don't pay Origin money to play online. You know what I mean? You don't pay these services to play online on the PC.
Yep.
But on the console, you got to pay for something that should be free because you're already paying an internet service provider.
But when you tell most people this information, most people, when it comes down to console gamers anyway, they don't care for all that because they, for some reason, believe that, hey, if we pay Microsoft this, they have good security. Lizard Squad was able to shut down Sony, Microsoft I'm not sure about Nintendo because not many people talk about Nintendo, but Microsoft and Sony consoles were shut down to a point that you couldn't even play single player games because your internet, I mean, because their system was fucked up.
Well, see, they think they got security, but you remember back in the PlayStation 3 days where the cyber attack shut down Sony for an entire 3 months?
Yeah.
See, they have no security, whether it be a free service or a paid service. Microsoft has a little better security, but if someone wanted to shut down Xbox Live and PSN, they can do it
Hmm.
without any problems.
And that's a shame because people believe that's what they're paying for when they have PSN. It's like, no, boo boo, you're not paying for that. Stop that.
Exactly, but they're brainwashed, like I said again. The corporations have them wrapped around a little finger. They have them in a corner with their pants down, bent over, going, "Take Sony dick. Yeah, take Sony dick."
Oh shit.
But the brainwashed people don't understand. They don't see that. And then when you
Hmm.
talk bad about what they love, it's basically heresy.
Heresy though.
You know, I mean, it's horrible because these people are stupid.
I 100% agree with you, huh?
But the whole entire problem is, like I said, Nintendo just needs to stop making game consoles. Actually, take their games, take the money they got, put them out on multiple platforms, like they're doing with the Apple products now with Mario Run, and let their fan base choose what platform they want to play their games on.
Sure.
Because Nintendo doesn't get third party support. So when you buy a Nintendo console, you're just basically buying it for Nintendo games. And I refuse to support company policies to where they will not catch up with the rest of us because of that.
I have a little brother that believes that I mean, God damn it, Nintendo will Nintendo will survive regardless if no one really bought any of their consoles. Like, no, that's really retarded thinking because if you look at the history of Sega, Sega could not survive because not enough people bought into Dreamcast, even though Dreamcast was really a fucking good console. And if you say different, I believe you're a fucking liar that needs to get shanked. But I digress. He believes that whether people bought Nintendo consoles or not, that Nintendo will still survive off of Mario alone, which that's just retarded thinking. That's just not going to happen.
Well, we'll see. Nintendo,
You still there?
Nintendo diehard fans want to believe that the $22 billion that Nintendo has in the bank will keep them afloat. If you divide $22 billion between a large corporation like Nintendo, when paying devs for games and paying for consoles to be manufactured and paying for basically advertisements and so forth, that money doesn't go very far if no one's buying the product to help their revenue out through their company.
Yep, that's 100% true.
Yeah. Oh, I might get down to that other hand.
The hell just happened? Ah, shit. I just wait till you come back online.
But that's the whole problem with the Nintendo fan base. They believe that.
Um, so if you think if the Switch, if they was to try to make that more stronger, that they will put them back into the competition of Sony and Microsoft.
Well, it's not about being stronger. It's about being able to get third party support by having a capable device to compete with the other two competitors.
Um, Matter of fact, what is the reason why third parties isn't coming towards them? Because back in the day, they used to have a lot of strong support.
Well, that's because back in the day they controlled the market, like I was telling you about how they sued Blockbuster Video and so forth. They also had some pretty shady practices to where that you had to have special licenses to manufacture games on their cartridges. You had to request special chips to make the games run on their entertainment systems back when they were cartridge-based systems and everything else. They had a lot of shady practices. That's why they were basically dominating the market because they were the only game in town at the time. And Sega
Mm,
couldn't compete because Nintendo already had it locked because of that reason.
that is wrong.
They were a very shady company back in the early 90s. No one wants to admit that, but they were.
But as a kid, I wouldn't have known any of that stuff until I got older and seeing a bunch of people that put videos about it and show proof. Like, damn, Nintendo was a really dirty ass fucking company.
And that's why when the PlayStation came out, all the developers jumped from the 64 to the PlayStation was because of the shady practices Nintendo had.
Mm.
All those shady
If Sony never
practices.
had and left Nintendo, do you think Nintendo would still been a powerhouse with Sony by their side?
Nah, I think they would have took Sony down with them.
Shit.
No,
I
no,
would
you
honestly think.
you laugh, but it's the truth because the Nintendo back when they made the partnership with Sony for the Nintendo PlayStation, they were basically irated that they wouldn't have no control over the CD media that was coming to that system. So they went behind Sony's back to Philips
Damn.
because of that reason. So yeah, Sony would have been taken down with Nintendo because Nintendo is basically a greedy company who makes great IPs, but as a company, they're greedy with their intellectual properties.
Hmm. I really did wish today would have still been making more good Zelda and Metro Prime games.
See, I love the Metroid Prime series, but I'm a Metroid Prime type of person though. Samus was one of the first games I think I played besides Legend of Zelda on my original Nintendo back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Zelda Prime.
But that's neither here nor there though, unfortunately.
You
That's
got a
all in the
point.
past.
Hey, shit.
Yeah, that's back when Nintendo ruled the market with an iron fist. I
Hmm.
mean, they ruled that bitch.
Um, but one thing, what do you think about what's the name of that fucking game I just seen it? Star Citizen,
I've never really gotten those type of games. Um, I played
those
Warcraft,
spaceships.
but they require a certain amount of attention and care to those type of games that I can't give them.
Star Citizen's supposed to come out with a first per. Well, I mean, goddamn, with a single player instead of just playing multiple player, which I really think is a good idea. So you wouldn't have to put so much attention to it because in single player, hey, who really cares? You can come and pick it back up anytime you want.
But how long has that been trying to come out for? For what I've heard, it's in the abyss of never coming.
Nah, they ain't fuck their fans up that bad, dog. You can actually pick it up and play it right now in this beta stage at their website.
Hmm,
Uh,
sounds actually pretty fun.
but just right now, you only playing the multiplayer part. How long has this been in development? I'm trying to look now. They saying if you go to Google, they saying that this game coming out in 2017.
Huh. Well, that's probably 2017 right now, and then probably 2018 when 17 comes.
I hope it's not, but excuse me. This game's supposed to be pretty fucking big. If you go to YouTube, everybody's hyped up about it. But some people have turned their backs to it because after No Man's Sky had fucked everybody over, it's like, damn, dog, I don't want Star Citizen to be the next No Man's Sky. But
Well, I,
there's so much proof that Star Citizen is not going to be No Man's Sky. So any other spaceship games coming out, they everybody back of their minds will be, damn, I really hope this not going to be another fuck up.
well, that's because No Man's Sky was destined. It was destined to fail.
I didn't really see any interviews for. I was just one of those people that, hey, No Man's Sky. I'd rather wait till I see Angry Joe or any other of my favorite YouTubers say something about it, because I was in no rush playing that shit. And and lower to be low, Angry Joe. That's a fucked up video. DSP fucked up game. Like, god damn, a lot of people saying this is a fucked up ass game. Then I started watching interviews with this dude promised so much shit and couldn't develop shit. I heard he made an update tool, but I still not putting no money down that game. You should have put everything you promised in that one fucking go.
Well, see, he thought if he basically did that, he can make millions of dollars by coaxing people into basically doing what he wanted them to do and support garbage.
Mm. And see, that sets a bad pre. I mean, I understand it's still happening regardless, but that sets a bad precedent to where other small game companies think they could do the same fucking thing and there'd be no relapse behind that shit.
Well, it's not only that it sets a bad standard, but it basically is what it is. People rip people off. It happens.
Do you think the lawsuit that No Man's Sky was about to get hit with was warranted?
Yeah,
I'm not. I forgot where they from, but where they was from, I think the UK. They was gonna get hit with a lawsuit of wrongful advertising, but after the thing was over, it was like we couldn't see the makers being at fault here. They didn't lie about anything because it's a generated maps and what they show in video, everybody gonna have a different experience. I'm like, ain't this a fucking bitch? Are you serious?
let's see. I think that's a lie personally because even if something is procedurally generated based upon different games, it should at least someone should at least have encountered like a small portion of what they said would be in the game out of some randomly procedured something. No one's encountered any of the stuff that they said they released into the game at all.
People still encountered that fucking black orb thing, which was in the game. None of the hostile creatures that you would have faced, like they showed in E3, was never in it. Like, come on, every planet you go to, all the life creatures is just fucking boring. Like, there was no excitement at all in none of those planets that the videos I seen.
It's like I said, even if it was procedurally generated to each one's experience, they should have encountered something of that quality in all the videos and time that people played.
Hmm.
So the lawsuit is very warranted. I think they had a very good case, and the whole entire debacle of Sony not refunding money to people who were disappointed in the game is bullshit.
Sony was the only people that was not refunding people their money.
They would close down accounts, ban users from rebuying the game later on down the line, and everything else. So yeah,
No, that's fucked up. That is 100% fucked up.
see, that's what I was telling you about. There's nothing wrong with the corporations themselves. It's the fan bases that let the companies get away with this shit. And
I mean, as a consumer, when a company does something, ain't much you can do unless you have money to take a company to court for every single thing they does. That's why I'm really advocating for a vote for your wallet. If you don't buy the shit, the company will at some point have to change their ways.
See, that's what I was saying, is that if the consumers that see these shady business practices coming from Sony would basically stop buying their products and their games, then the corporation would do that shit no more.
True.
But they
That's all
got
if I
everyone
do.
bent over in the corner crying, taking Japanese dick.
Then I'm sorry that I just iterated your own point. Then I'm sorry. Hey shit. Anything else would you like to bring up, home?
Well, everyone thinks Phil Spencer is the next messiah in gaming.
I'm glad. I just had to say about Phil Spencer. I don't know much about him, but from one interview I seen where I'm about making games, I really was down for the cat when he said that because Don Mattress, the guy that told people that, well, if you don't like the ideas about Xbox One or you don't have internet, we got a system already out, and that's called the Xbox 360. I'm glad that your man left. Everybody keep thinking he got fired. Like, nah, he didn't get fired because just like Blackbuster Critic said, you don't hire a new CEO just like that. You gotta give that person way more time before you can hire a new CEO. Your man must have been wonder and then gave them their his slip like, hey, I'm gonna be leaving soon, and then bam, once he left, hey, we got a new CEO because he been was warned. I like Phil Spencer because hey, he's about his video games. He's not about trying to fuck everybody over. But once he came up and said, hey, we don't think Halo will be good for PC, and that's why we didn't bring Halo 5 to PC. They were like, God damn, are you serious? Who the fuck paid you to say that dumb shit?
But Halo 5 is on PC.
Halo 5 is not on PC. I mean, it's not coming to Windows.
It is on PC.
Mind showing me a link to that?
Um,
Hold on.
well, let's do something better then. Let's do something better. Because I have something just for you. Answer this call.
You said answer a call? Hello?
Let's see.
Hold on, hold on. I see Microsoft One. I mean Xbox One and Microsoft Windows right there. That's my bad. Shit. Halo 5. No. What was the next one supposed to come out? Six?
Hold on, I'm going to show you something. Where the hell is my game at? I want to play it. Let me launch. Do you see it?
Yeah, and I misspoke. Meant when he had an interview about the next Halo that's coming out, not Halo 5.
Well, you can play Halo 5 on the PC. If it works right for me, you can play Halo 5 on the PC.
As again, my bad, I misspoke. He had an interview about the new Halo that was coming out. I think that's Halo 6, unless they changed the name to it. That he didn't think that Halo 6 would be good for PC. That's why he didn't really have a hope of bringing that over. Rags made a video on it.
Well, yes, it's not a full Halo game. when you do play it, it's basically half of a Halo game. You can't play the campaign or nothing, but you can do
The fuck?
multiplayer with friends.
That sucks.
But it's still a Halo experience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that still suck balls.
But it is what
Huh.
it is, though. It's still a Halo 5 experience on the PC. And it's pretty good, but there's no matchmaking. You have to know people who have the game.
What?
Yeah, that's the biggest problem with it.
That suck balls,
If
though.
you watch one of my later videos, I have a version of Halo 5 for the PC on there, and the title of the video is Halo 5 No Matchmaking. What the fuck?
Mm. So,
But it's a start.
uh, so what? So if enough people continue to send letters and whatnot to Microsoft to change that, do you think they would change that?
Honestly, I don't think they will because you can only get it on the Windows 10 PC. You can only get it after the anniversary update for Windows 10 PCs, and a lot of people don't have Windows 10.
That's true. Um, I really wish I don't think Microsoft going to stop when because they did make a good choice by not making people pay for their service. Uh, even only two or three dumbasses I've seen on Facebook that was really mad about. Nah, y'all should make the PCs losers pay to be online. Y'all make us pay to be online. It's like so you being fucked then. For you to come out your mouth to say that, you're being fucked by Microsoft that you're paying to be online where you're already paying internet service to be online.
Well,
No, I
see,
just don't think it's fair, but so you being fucked.
see, they know PC people aren't going to pay because we have free services like Steam, Origin, and so forth. They know that we won't tolerate their bullshit.
Yeah, you're definitely right.
That was one of my
Yeah.
big selling points of going to the PC was that I could play Xbox One games on there without having to pay for Xbox Live.
hmm Um, well, my biggest selling point with PC was the whole you get to customize and you have people all over your back saying you can't do this and did that unless we shut you off. Because again, I was fucked over by both companies. Which people ask, why didn't they just go to Nintendo? Because they don't really got third party support.
See, I went through all the consoles this generation. I went through every single one of them, and neither of the consoles ever made me satisfied.
Yep. Just like if you have a girl that she don't make you satisfied, to where you're gonna go to a bitch that can make you satisfied. Am I correct or I'm not?
Oh no, you're correct. Trust me, you are correct.
I'm an asshole, man. I shouldn't be saying gaming problem. Hey shit.
But the whole
Anyway,
point about PC gaming is the freedom to play the way you want to play it, when you want to play it, how you want to play it. And the consoles guys don't see this because they're head up in the clouds, brainwashed, bent over the washing machine, being fucked by Sony and Microsoft. And it is not even funny. They got so much wonton soup coming out of their ass from the rapes that they've been getting that they don't see that their fanboy problem. And their
yep.
fanboy problem is they support blindly as these corporations give them shit.
Excuse. Oh shit, I forgot to put the mic on. Excuse me. Um, I do hope a lot of people do open their eyes one day and start going. At least give PC gaming a try. It's not that bad. I mean, it's not bad as people say. Blockbuster critics videos. Hey, you can see there's a huge difference from playing a lot of games on PC than consoles. I know be like, hey, it's exclusives that keeps me staying. Why would you? But that's not a good thing for Microsoft or Sony to trap. I mean, to lock down one game onto their consoles.
Well, the whole point of exclusive is basically a cancerous word because if these companies didn't exist, then the exclusives that these companies have wouldn't exist neither. Like Uncharted, if Sony and Microsoft were just software developers instead of console makers, you wouldn't have Gears of War 4, you wouldn't have Uncharted, you wouldn't have none of these games that they make because there would be no reason for them to make something that amazing to make people play on their system.
Oh, that's true.
And that's
God
what
damn.
drives console sales is locking in exclusives to a platform. I can't down that business practice in a way because that's what helps corporations thrive is having something that your competition doesn't have that people want.
You professor teaches Windows 10. For oh shit, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
But
No,
I
bless you.
can down though them locking it away completely.
At some point, they should make it to where you can play all the games that except for on Xbox One and PS4 and the Wii U or the Switch as the new systems coming out. It should make the older version come out on PC so many people can give it a chance because after a certain while, unless you own the older version of consoles, you can't get your hands on those games anymore, which
Well,
makes it so you have to emulate the games.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You can use emulators and so forth to get older games and everything, but um, I don't entirely prefer to use emulators myself. I like emulators. I've used quite a few. I have one where I can play Nintendo and Super Nintendo games all day long,
Hmm.
and I love playing those old games from time to time, but I would rather be able to actually have the companies themselves just release them in a timely fashion instead of having to make me go around circles and hoops.
Yep. It's just fucking retarded, man.
But you and I both know they're not going to do that.
Nah, because it's like it'll be licenses issues. It'll be licenses issues. Just like
It,
the same reasons why they can't just bring every single game from the Xbox to Xbox. I mean Xbox 360 to Xbox One because they can't do
it's not licensing issues that's mainly the problem for their first party games. It's mainly the fact that they're scared to release their game IPs out on multiple systems because if they start doing that, and then they're not going to stick around for their bullshit that they're trying to sell you on their system.
it. Mm.
Especially
Goddamn.
if they give you nothing but bullshit while you're on their system to sell those IPs to you.
Yeah, that's true. That is fucking true. Um, excuse.
So, is there anything you want to add before we end this, my friend?
Um, I mostly just talk about everything I wanted to talk about. Hoping that that we all be able to play games with each other. I'm really happy that there's new people that's coming into the scene that we are able to have a chance to support them, and they're coming out with their own fucking games that don't need a excuse me, that don't need a publisher to deny them because they already been given money to it. And I wish that one day we all be able to play games together. Like fuck this console war PC. I mean, Xbox versus Sony versus PC. Because at the end of the day, we all family, dog. Whether we blood or not, we all family when it comes down to gaming. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck you, ponies. Fuck you, Xbox. Fuck you, PC. Man, we should all work together, and I mean, we all should want to be a gaming family and wish nothing for the best for each other. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well, see, you're right, but console gamers will basically tell you that they don't want to face off against the glorious master race because we have better controls than them with mouse and keyboard, and they're scared that we would dominate them. So in their minds, they like their little ecosystems, and they like being constricted to monthly fees and having people control them like that.
But
That's
from
their
what
whole
I've
problem.
but from what I've heard, you can get a keyboard and mouse or a version of a keyboard and mouse on either platform. I've seen it for the PlayStation 3 and 4. I'm not sure what about I think on Microsoft you can just plug in a regular keyboard and mouse into the Xbox, but only work on a few shoot 'em games.
Well, you probably can, but they would still say that the learning curve to keyboard and mouse is much harder than the learning curve of a controller. And that's one of my main arguments is that the keyboard and mouse has a learning curve, but at the same time, it's so much more customizable than a controller because you have basically every key at your disposal that you can macro do anything you want with them.
That's true, but it's kind of as Top Hats and Champagne. As again, I'm not sure it's okay to name drop on this video. As Top Hats and Champagne even mentioned, is a learning curve and it's hard to remember. But if you just could just put down a piece of paper in front of you, so you could just easily remember, oh shit, this is the button I'm supposed to push. And hey, everything will work just fine with you. Even my girls said the same thing. Hey, if you're playing on a keyboard and you're playing with 26 buttons, just put a little note in front of you so when you play in a game, you could easily fumble through the buttons. So where you supposed to push?
See,
And
that's
with
why I
a
use a
mouse, is
one-handy. That's why I use a one-handy keyboard, so I can have those memories.
I didn't know about the one-headed keyboard tool this month actually.
You can get a cheaper version than what I got. That's basically the same, except for it doesn't light up pretty colors.
Oh, shit, I care two shits about. When you get a chance, can you send me a link to that?
Yeah, no problem, man. I'll send you a link.
All right, son. That's all I had to talk about till next time. I really need to find me something to eat. Shit.
All right,
Anyway,
man. I guess I'll talk
peace.
to you later. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for chatting with us and the gamers. And y'all have a good one, my friend.
Yes, hey, next time we should probably put some more people on here. That would be really cool.
Well, as soon as I find more gamers that want to fight the cause, then they'll be welcome to join.
Yes, sir. All right, home. I got them. All right, home. I'll see you later.
See you later,
Peace.
man.